Where and how can I make the most impact on the lives of the poor? What can I do to make the biggest impact on the lives of the poor? And I went to thinking. I went to think, well, is it create this? Is it create that? And God told me the greatest impact you can make on the poor is by building fathers. Because fatherlessness is an indicator of poverty. Fatherlessness is an indicator of prison. Fatherlessness is an indicator of every ill in our society. It is related to a lack of fathers being who God called them to be. If we want to change a nation, we got to disciple a man. I'm talking about spending time truly discipling men. Now, when we go back and look at Samuel's story, and I don't want to spend a lot of time with it because I want to tell you the solution to this thing, but I do want you to understand where the problem started. If you look in the book of Samuel, what happened was his boys started with stealing. Okay? Listen to me. Nobody robs a bank all of a sudden. It started somewhere else. So the crisis of men didn't start with sex. It started somewhere else, and we didn't deal with it. So it started with stealing. It's like the first time I stole 50 cents out of my mother's purse, and she liked to kill me. Y'all remember that? Y'all don't remember that? The first time I took something out of my mother's purse and took something out the dresser that wasn't mine, my daddy came home, and he liked to kill me too. If he wouldn't have killed me for 50 cents, then I would have been taking 50,000. So what happens in a society with people is the more we give in and the more we let go, the more they do. So Samuel's sons started by stealing more meat than what they were supposed to steal. Now bear with me because I'm going somewhere here. They started by stealing more meat. They were taking meat. Now they were supposed to get a certain amount of meat, but they were supposed to get it a certain way. But why were they stealing this meat? What was the problem here? Well, the daddy, who was the priest, who was the pastor, who was the man in charge, he was so busy telling everybody else about Jesus, telling everybody else about God, he failed to spend the time with his own sons. Now listen to me carefully. You cannot just focus on raising the children in your house. You have to become fathers to your neighbor's children. Why is that? Because your child is going to school with your neighbor's child. And if you don't also work with your neighbor's child, then that child is going to corrupt your child. Listen to me very carefully, because I know some of you say, well, Pastor, you know, I did a good job. I raised my children. They went to college. That is not enough to change a generation. We have to look at the fatherless, and God has called us, the church, to be fathers to the fatherless. But we have to be willing to take the time to do that. In Eli, in the book of Samuel, he obviously was not taking the time with his children to come. Y'all come on, sit down on the front row by me. You know, they were not taking the time, and his children became greedy. And they began to take from the people. Okay? Now they began to take from the people, and they were exceedingly sinful. Exceedingly sinful. Listen, this thing here is serious business. You know, it's serious business because if we don't do what God has called us to do with men, what's going to happen is, I don't care how much money we get, I don't care how much Christian community development we do, let me tell you something, without changing men, the problem is going to be here 10 years from now.